Hello, everyone. Peter Dennis here. Today, my guest is Linda Poff. Linda is a holistic health practitioner. She's a psychic medium. She's a channeler. She lives in Peterborough, Ontario, and she heads up an organization that started out as a dowsers organization, but it's expanded. And correct me, Linda, if I don't get the name right, but it's, I think, along the lines of it's all about energy or natural energy, living and holistic health. Have I got that right?
Pretty close, Peter. It's all energy, natural
It's
living.
all energy. Good.
Yeah,
Well, welcome and pleasure to have you. Um, Last time you and I were together, we were in Peterborough and we had a little, I don't know if you call it a show exactly, but you and I you did some channeling and I did some refereeing, and we had a good time with that group.
we did. That was a really fun night, and everyone really enjoyed the channeling and you sharing your information.
Uh,
Yes,
Good. Well, Linda, I think our audience likes to get the impression or likes to understand where channelers come from. And one way we can do that is to show them that really channelers come from every walk of life. You know, I've had lawyers, accountants, engineers, nurses, that sort of thing. But would you be good enough to give us a little of your background?
certainly, Peter. I actually grew up on a horse farm
Hmm.
and showed ponies when I was younger. And then I moved to Peterborough, where I worked in the childcare field, actually. I worked with ladies that did home daycare, and I would go in and help license their homes and work with them with their programming and supplying toys and equipment. And it was a fun job that I really enjoyed. And over the years, I slowly started to take courses and took my Reiki course first and became a Reiki master and teacher. And then I just expanded through dowsing and psychic mediumship courses, channeling, just a lovely little basket of goodies and tricks that I enjoy using.
Hmm. Well, I can imagine that was a fair transition for you from, showing horses, working with children, and then all of a sudden you're on this kind of spiritual path. You're dowsing, you're channeling. Um, was there a time or an event or anything like that where suddenly switch you went off on this spiritual track?
That interest has always been there. And I can remember, an example as a child saying to my mom, "Oh, I think so and so's coming today." And she said, "No, I don't think so." And before you knew it, so and so was pulling in the driveway. So I can think back. My grandmother loved going and getting readings and tea leaves, and it was there in my childhood, and I was exposed to it, and it really intrigued me. So once I got to the stage that I had some time of my own from raising my own children, I just started experimenting and taking courses, and it's just developed, and I feel I've blossomed into this soulful person, very peaceful,
Mm,
loving, just a beautiful harmony of blended feelings within.
yeah.
It's hard to explain, really, the feeling that I have.
Well, you're by no means alone in that. Many channelers have told me much the same story, in that I think as we raise our vibration and get into that fourth dimension of consciousness, things do settle down for us. We enjoy more peace. We're calmer about things. My website crashed yesterday, and I took it in stride pretty well, where I think a couple of years ago I would have been panicked. You know, yeah, I think many people are experiencing that sort of thing as they wake up spiritually.
Yes, I agree. There's a lot of people out there that, are living with a lot of anxiety and stress over what's happening in the world right now.
Yeah,
And the more we can bring them into their heart to find their light and their soul, it just seems to calm them and opens them up to a beautiful new world and a different looking at things in a different way.
yeah, yeah. I haven't said this as an original comment or anything, but somebody told me that as our vibration raises, peace and calmness just settles in and
Yeah.
becomes part of the norm for us. Yeah. Well, now among the various things that you are doing, they all seem to generally pursue healing. How has channeling impacted what you're doing?
Well, I find channeling can help bring through messages for people. It seems to help put them at ease, at peace.
Mhm.
I find they really appreciate what I can offer, depending on who decides to come through at that time. Whether it's Mother Mary, Archangel Michael, is it a family member? It really varies every time
Mhm.
I channel.
Yes, you mentioned those two beings, Mother Mary and Archangel Michael. Have you channeled anyone else?
Um, Not that I am aware of.
Mhm.
Certainly will sit and practice some channeling on my own, and it really varies. I feel there's other beings there, and I think basically anyone that channels can bring in anyone that a being that is there and wants to be heard.
I agree, absolutely. As a matter of fact, today I had a session with a channeler who was channeling her higher self. And I think I got prompted or tapped on the shoulder, and I said, if you were to bring in an ascended master or someone of a higher vibration, who would you like to bring in? And she said, Saint Germain, Archangel Michael. And I said, well, you're a healer. How about we go for Saint Germain, see what happens? I just felt Saint Germain was for her. You know, this was somebody, maybe Saint Germain, prompting me. And
Yes.
so she got down into the relaxed state and came her higher self. We had a little chat, and I said, how about Saint Germain? And the higher self said, well, that's up to her. If she's ready and she would like to do it, Saint Germain's available. So I said, okay. I named the woman, which I won't do here, but I said, are you ready for this? And I guess she sort of switched from her higher self to herself. And she said, yeah. So in comes Saint Germain. She's
Wow.
a healer, and he's going to be assisting her in her healing. Um, and he's, I guess you could almost say he's an ambassador of joy. When he shows up, things that lighten up a lot. He spreads happiness and joy, I think. But for us today, you're not certain who's coming in. You've channeled Mother Mary and Archangel Michael. Do you have any sense of who may be coming through today?
I don't. I've been thinking about this morning, and I have no idea. No one's given me any clues at all. So we'll
Yeah,
just, it's going to be a surprise.
Good. Well, now, if one of them comes in and we have a session with that individual, afterwards, you will likely be able to report, yeah, I felt a certain kind of energy. And if it was the other one, I would have felt that, but it would have been different. Do you get that? Can you sense who's present or who has been present?
Not necessarily. No,
Hmm.
I can't say I really have a way of distinguishing between the two.
Okay. Well, this is going to be a surprise, and it won't be the first time because when we did it for the Dowsers, Mother Mary was engaged with me, having a nice chat, and I'm not sure how it came about, but she may have said Archangel Michael's nearby and would like to have a word or something. But he came in, and yeah, so maybe we'll get both today. Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, would you like to bring in somebody? Are you ready to do that now?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you take your time, and you just will be surprised.
All right. Let's see where we go.
Yeah.
Mother Mary has arrived.
Hello, Mother Mary. I was not going to place any bets, but I thought you would be the one to come through first anyway. Yes, thank you very much for doing this. You and I have had a few chats about your life on earth as Mary, Mother of Jesus, and you've given us a fair bit of information about Jesus and your husband Joseph. I'd like to maybe for this audience um, go in some different directions. I'm thinking you are sort of the mother of mothers in a sense. And my, I'm not sure if it's a guess or not, but are you here generally to help mothers?
I'm so grateful, Peter, to be here to talk. And as a mother, I feel it's the most important job that we can do. And the more that I can be here for anyone, especially mothers, it's a total honor for me.
With mothers, um, as channel beings tend to do, they sometimes plant ideas, little nudges, or sometimes deliver messages through videos and that sort of thing. In what ways would you see yourself helping mothers?
I feel children need light, and light, I feel, for children comes through play and laughter and
Mm,
joy. And my main message to all mothers is to remember to bring joy and laughter into the home.
mm,
Life can be so busy and so hectic that I feel mothers sometimes need a reminder.
yes. Yes, that makes perfect sense. And there's a lot of publicity, I guess you might say, or exposure anyway, to parenting in general. And oftentimes it's critical. And I guess it's fair to say that not only mothers but fathers too are under a good bit of pressure. But I think mothers especially, and from different directions. Aside from bringing joy and playfulness and those kind of things to their children, is there anything that you can point to that mothers are missing? Something they are doing that maybe they'd be better off not doing?
That's a really difficult area with
Mm,
mothers because they try so hard and they do the best they can. And for me to ask mothers to change is difficult.
mhm,
But my main suggestion would be for them to just take a step back, take a deep breath, and enjoy life to the fullest.
I suspect that goes hand in hand with the idea of self-love. If they took a little more time out for themselves to appreciate themselves, that would be helpful. Would you
It's,
concur?
yes, it certainly would. I feel mothers put themselves last
Mm,
and they need to remember how beautiful and wonderful they are. The jobs they are doing raising children is such a precious job, but they need to remember themselves as well
mhm.
and to care for themselves. And maybe it's just a moment in the morning to be grateful to feel the sunshine or to enjoy their first cup of coffee.
Hmm.
I'm not talking large things. There's so many little beautiful things they can appreciate and do for themselves during the day.
Yes. I think you anticipated that I was going to ask how they might do this. And yes, just taking a moment here and there for themselves.
Very
Yeah,
much.
excellent. We're going to be doing some videos that I hope you're going to participate in. And perhaps you can elaborate on some of these themes. And certainly, if you want to, we'll give you that platform. I have a couple of other questions. I was in Fatima, and I actually served Mass in the chapel or the cathedral, I think, of Guadalupe in Mexico. And there's evidence of you having been there, both places. I'm wondering, what was your main message in Fatima and also Guadalupe?
Such a beautiful area. My message would be of peace and to appreciate the treasures that that country has,
Mm-hmm.
especially in that area.
Mm-hmm. You're referring to Portugal or Mexico or both?
Um, More Mexico,
Okay.
but the message can actually go for both areas.
Mm. Yeah. I, on my way to Fatima, I was misdirected in a way, or maybe directed, but I found myself walking for about 5 hours through the countryside, and it was beautiful. Rolling hills, very colorful, different kinds of animals. It was a great way to come into Fatima. And I've always liked Mexico. Um, yeah, it's kind of a dangerous country these days in some respects, but yeah, there's some great beauty there as well. Well, you've got some thoughts for mothers. I'm wondering about men, fathers. Any thoughts there?
Well, I feel that fathers, the message I gave earlier can certainly help fathers, but for fathers to be aware of the family dynamics and to be there and to support and to help. So there are so many amazing fathers out there today that are there for the family dynamics. And I feel that is so important for the fathers to be there, to be as one in a group of the family whole.
Now, perhaps as we're nearing the time to wrap things up here, from your perspective, you see mothers in general, you see fathers in general. I'm wondering if you're looking at humanity, what would you say is perhaps the number one thing that humanity could do for itself to bring about more peace and happiness?
I feel if everyone could just spend a moment every morning and to go within, to feel their heart, to feel their love in their hearts, that their light and the feeling of peace would just totally fill their bodies. And to be able to start each day with that beautiful feeling would make an amazing difference for humanity and the world.
And you're not including, or I guess you are including, but you're not saying they have to meditate particularly, just sit quietly and appreciate.
Yes, I have a problem with the word meditate. So
Mhm.
people feel that you need to sit quiet and empty your mind. And in today's world, that's difficult.
Mhm.
I look at meditating more as a moment here and a moment there to enjoy the joys of yourself, of the beautiful sun I spoke of before, of the
Mhm.
lovely birds singing outside the window, and just take it all in because you can have the same feelings enjoying the beauties of the world as you can in meditating and being open to receive
Mhm.
the messages of Mother Earth and Gaia.
You were talking about focusing on the heart, and from the heart, there is an expansion of light and love. Can you elaborate a little on that? How do we engage the heart?
When I work with people through Linda, I encourage her to have the people focus on their heart,
Mhm.
to feel the heart beating, to acknowledge the heart, and to bring out that love, the love feeling that's there, getting them to relate to how they feel love. And as I feel their heart opens, their light shines out and beams and brings them a wonderful, peaceful feeling within.
Mm. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. And I think it's probably time we wrap up. Would you like to make any other comment at this time, just by way of parting? Or do you think maybe that last message was maybe the best way to end this? Your
I,
call.
I think if everyone could just take a few moments and follow guidance through that last message, it would be amazing.
Hmm. Yeah, I think so too. Mother Mary, thank you very much for being here. This is an absolute pleasure. And I have a feeling with Linda, you and I are going to have further conversations. I hope so. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Blessings to all.
Yeah, good. And Linda, you just come on back, take your time. Those were great messages. Were you aware of them or were you just gone?
No, I heard what was said, whether I don't think I could tell you everything that um, Mother Mary said, but I definitely feel that um, I heard them as they were coming through.
Mhm. Yeah. And it sounds like she's going to be a little bigger part of your life, maybe going forward, or a more apparent one anyway.
I really feel that's the case because when I call in my people, when I'm working in a healing situation, Mother Mary is always one of the group.
Hmm. Interesting. Well, Linda, this has been really wonderful. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can find me on Facebook
Mhm.
at Linda Poff Holistic Health. I have email Linda Poff Holistic Health at gmail.com is another way, or they can get in touch with me through it's all energy at gmail.com.
Good. Well, I'll be sure to put those contacts at the end of this video so people can see them as well as hear them. Good. Well, Linda, thanks very much for doing this. This was really very uplifting. I think a lot of people will feel that way about it.
Well, thank you so much, Peter. I'm honored that I can come on and channel, and hopefully people can really appreciate the messages that I can send through to them.
Yeah, and they're really straightforward messages, aren't they? There's nothing complicated about as you're having your morning coffee, just look out the window and appreciate what's out there. That kind of thing. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah. Good, Linda. Well, we'll be in touch. Bye for now.
Bye, Peter. Thank you so much.